I got the new M4 iPad Pro. Let's talk about it.
On the daily grind. Something special to relieve your mind.
What's going on everyone, Jordan here, back with another video. So I've been using the M4 iPad Pro 13-inch for the past couple of weeks, and I've got some thoughts about it. But before we get into anything like that, let's unbox it. So it's a classic Apple unboxing, everything that you would expect inside the box from Apple, just about. So you have the iPad sitting here on the top, and beneath that you've got all your Apple paperwork. If you're looking for any Apple stickers, you're not in luck. Apple has removed them from the box this year. I do believe if you go to the Apple store, you can ask for them. But yeah, it's probably just part of Apple's way for cost cutting. And beneath all the paperwork, you have got your 20-watt USB-C charger and a black USB-C cable. You only get the black cable if you get the 13-inch iPad. We also can't forget the Apple Pencil Pro, so let's unbox that as well. So in the Apple Pencil Pro box, it's pretty simple. You get some paperwork in there and the Apple Pencil Pro itself. There's no extra tips or nibs or anything in there. You can buy them additionally though in case you do damage or break it. So yeah, I got the 13-inch cellular in the space black iPad, 256 gig, 8 gigabytes of RAM and a 9-core CPU in here. So yeah, I've been using this for around 2 weeks now, and I've got some thoughts. More or less everything's like good, but a couple things here and there, but we'll go through everything. All right, let's talk about this tandem OLED display with its great dark blacks, nice contrast, and amazing color vibrancy. Now, I love watching movies and TV and YouTube on this screen. Now, this could just be my unit, but I did notice a bit of a yellowy greenish tint to my display, which does show it to be a bit of a warmer screen to me. And I know that the 1000 nits and 1600 nits of screen brightness for this display is fairly bright, but to me it's not as bright as I thought. I've turned off auto brightness and I always think I can adjust it more, but nope. It is all the way up. Now this is probably just the way of how it was calibrated out of the factory. I do hope maybe some future software update might be able to fix this. Now let's talk about the battery life. This iPad has amazing battery life for how thin it is. A 10,000 plus milliamp hour battery with protections in the software for it. 80% charge limits and battery health are now available in the settings. I don't like that the product with an M4 chip only comes with a 20-watt USB-C plug, but that's fine for me as I just charge my iPad with a 90-watt or 140-watt charger. I do like that it comes with a braided black cable though, but only if you get the 13-inch Pros. However, the cable is still only USB 2.0 for this Pro device. Now let's talk about the build and how thin it is. It is really crazy thin. Sturdier than you would think. Now I still put a screen protector on case on mine because, well, I'm not a YouTuber with a million subs that can afford another one, but it's also to stop the Apple Pencil from scratching the side of the iPad. Now I do like that Apple did put a metal rib on the inside to help with its rigidity. However, just like jerry-rig everything's iPad, mine was ever so slightly bent out of the box, but it doesn't bug me that much. Let's talk about the Apple Pencil Pro. I saw that in the event when they did it. I thought it was cringe. I don't know why I did it. Anyway, Apple Pencil Pro. So far it's great. Like, I love the squeeze functionality with it, the haptic motor, hover, and the fact that it's part of the Find My network now. Now, I still have got to use it a bit more, but overall I like it. Once I start my Project 52 and do some more photo editing in July, then I'll know more and I can comment more on it then. But yeah, so far so good. Now there weren't many camera updates with these, but the front camera has moved to the side below where the Apple Pencil charges, and it looks like how you think a camera would look in a space that small. It's nothing special, but nonetheless, the front camera is now in the correct position, and it also has center stage. As for the back, we did lose the wide angle camera, which I don't think anyone really realized. The rear camera is okay. It can't do any sort of portrait mode though, so just be aware of that. The cameras on the iPad Pro should only be used by professionals for business or AR applications, educators and students, or by grandparents. But I don't think grandparents will be using an iPad Pro with an M4 chip to take photos. And speaking of M4, let's talk about this brand new chip. Now, just like the M1 and M2 iPads, the M4 is fast, but it's limited. The same problem as the MacBook Air, the iPad Pro can overheat and thermal throttle. Yes, it's good that Apple has put copper in the Apple logo to help dissipate the heat, but without any sort of active cooling, this device is too thin to get the heat away swiftly if you're doing any sort of heavy or intense workloads. For everyday use, it's fast, just like you would expect from an iPad. Now let's talk about my major problem with the iPad Pros. Not just the iPad Pros, but the whole iPad lineup as a whole, iPad OS. This is the major problem with the iPad. Now, I agree with many other tech YouTubers and news outlets when they say that Apple is between a rock and a hard place when it comes to the iPad. Apple knows how important the iPad is, but they cannot give it the opportunity to be better because of the Mac. Why can I only use one external display with the M4 iPad? Why is the cursor the worst thing I've ever used? Multitasking in Stage Manager is abysmal and even worse when it comes to closing apps. Why are app windows in somewhat of set sizes? Why can't I have multiple different profiles or logins for multiple people to use the iPad? Why is the iPad not more? Now, I remember when the original iPad was announced. Myself, along with many other people, were saying and joking that the iPad was just a big iPod Touch. Then I got the first gen iPad and I loved it. Yes, this is a powerhouse of a device with a crystal clear OLED display with vibrant colors, a build packed with industry leading hardware, a battery that can last all day in a device thinner than 2 coins are stacked, a camera that is great for FaceTimes and Zooms and capturing those moments, and great accessories that allow people to show off their artistic prowess. But at the end of the day, this is basically a Mac, a desktop running iOS, a mobile operating system. The iPad lineup as a whole, from the Mini to the 13-inch Pro, has so much potential that Apple themselves are scared of because even they think the iPad could cannibalize some of the Mac market. You can even see this within the iPad lineup itself. The new iPad Airs with the M2 chips and the USB-C port doesn't support Thunderbolt, only USB 3.0 at 10 gigabit speeds. Even though the M2 MacBook Airs had Thunderbolt, Apple is afraid even the iPad Air could cannibalize the iPad Pros if given too much functionality. Now, am I being too harsh despite how much I love the iPad? Heck, in my Apple ecosystem video, I raved about my iPad and said that I would probably never use an Android tablet. I'll leave a link to that video down in the description below the like button for you to watch after this. Look, maybe I'm being harsh, maybe I'm not. I'm truly hoping that iPadOS 18, which will be announced in a few days' time, will make the iPad Pro and the whole iPad lineup better as a whole. Now, once the public beta is out, I will be loading it onto my M4 Pro and using that as my only computer for a period of time. Make sure to subscribe so you can see when that video drops. So my final initial thoughts after using the M4 13-inch iPad Pro for 2 weeks. I love it for what it can do for me. But until this touchscreen MacBook Air can do more, the M4 iPad Pro to me feels lost with so much potential. Until then, the iPad is still more or less just a big iPod Touch 14 years later. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the new M4 iPad Pro from Apple. I'll do a longer term review later down the line, but if you got the new M4 iPad Pro or even the M2 iPad Air, let me know down in the comments below what you think about yours. Also, we got WWDC 2024 in a few days, and the rumors are some big changes are coming, especially for Apple's implementation of AI. So get hyped for that and make sure to subscribe so you can see my reaction and thoughts for when that video drops in several days. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well. Apart from that, I hope you stay safe, stay well, and stay happy. And I will see you in the next video.
I wake up in the morning about 1:15 to dawn, and then I start grinding till the sun is.
And I will see you in the next video. Oh, it's done. Oh. Almost up that. Almost just spilt my coffee with my iPad.